Hello everyone, good evening. This is Ranjita again. Welcome to TaxNext Academy. Today we will be learning about important tax deadlines in Canada, which is mostly important for individuals, employed professionals, corporations and business. Understanding these deadlines is essential. As we all know, why is it essential? In order to avoid the late filing penalties, interest charges, as well as to stay compliant with CRA. By the end of this session, you will know exactly when to file your taxes and how and pay your taxes. How does the installment work, who is required to pay the installment, and what consequences you can face while if you miss a deadline for filing the taxes. So let's get started with the individual tax, which is also known as personal income tax. Individual tax, also known as personal income tax, the tax year for them, for the individuals is from January 1st to December 31st every year, the tax year. So you are required to report, each and every individuals in Canada are required to report all the income that is earned during that period, and you'll file this income on your tax return. For example, if you are filing for the period between January 1st 2024 to December 1st 2024, your filing deadline is by April 30 2025, and the payment due date is also by April 30 2025. However, for self-employed individual, the filing deadline is June 15 2025. However, they have to make the payment if they owe the taxes. If they owe taxes, then they have to make the payment. The payment deadline is only till April 30, but they can file their return with CRA till June 15 2025. What if June 15 2025 falls on a weekend? So I have put a note over here and a small thing over here. So if June 15th falls on a weekend, like in 2025, it was a Sunday, so the deadline moves to the next business day. CRA accepts that, so you can file till Monday, which is June 16, 2025. Let's take an example for self-employed individual. For example, Ranjita, she works as a freelancer in 2024. She worked as freelancer 2024, and she owed tax of $3,000 to CRA. So Ranjita must pay by April 30, 2025. However, she can file her taxes to CRA by June 16, 2025. Since June 15, 2025 was a holiday, so she can file her taxes by June 16, 2025. I hope this is clear for you. Let's move to next one, which is corporate income tax. So for corporate income tax, unlike individuals, corporations, they can choose their own fiscal year. When to choose the fiscal year? Whenever you open a RC account, it's a RC 0001 account with CRA. Whenever you open an account, every corporation needs to open their account with CRA. So whenever they open an RC account with CRA, they have to choose their tax year end. So the filing deadline for them, for the corporations, is 6 months after the year end. And the payment due date, if they owe the taxes, the payment due date depends 2 or 3 months after the year end, depending upon the corporation type and corporation size. So in the next slide, I will be explaining you the payment due date, which organizations are required to pay after the 2 months, and which corporations are required to pay after 3 months of the year end. For general corporations, which do not meet the criteria of CCPC, they have 2 months. They only have 2 months to make the payment. This is an example where the corporation has a year end of December 31st, 2024. They can file their taxes with CRA till June 30, 2025. However, their payment due date is February 28th, 2025. However, the CCPC, also known as Canadian Controlled Private Corporation, Canadian Controlled Private Corporation, you can search it in Google as well. So it's Canadian Controlled Private Corporation. So some organizations, they have to meet the criteria for CCPC. There are certain criteria for CCPC. I will make a video later on in the coming days regarding CCPC. What are the criteria for CCPC? In this example, we have taken the year end same as the general corporation, December 31st, 2024. The filing the taxes with CRA is same as the general corporation, which is June 30th, 2025. However, they have 1 month more to pay their taxes as compared to general corporation. They can make their payment till March 31st, 2025. If it's a CCPC, it's 3 months. If it's a general corporations, it's only 2 months for the payment due date. I hope this is clear for you. Now let's move to another important filing requirement in Canada, which is GST HST return. So the GST, if the company is registered, if the company collects GST HST in its income, then it has to file GST HST. It has to make a GST HST. It has to file GST HST returns. It depends whether filing frequency depends on the revenue, whether they are annual filers or quarterly filers or monthly filers. So annual filers, if their annual revenue is less than 1.5 million, they are annual filers. If it's between 1.5 to 6 million, if it's between 1.5 to 6 million, then they are quarterly filers. If it's more than 6 million, if it's more than 6 million, then they are monthly filers. The return due date, HST, you can file your GST HST 3 months after the fiscal year end. So for the quarterly, only 1 month after the period end. For the monthly, it's the same. You need to file after a month, and you need to pay after the month. So let's take an example for this. For GST HST, the annual filer, let's assume the year end is December 31st, 2024. So they have to file their GST HST by March 31st, 2025. For the quarterly filer, the quarter first ends on March 31st, 2025. Then they have to file and pay by April 30, 2025. Quarter 1 means January, February and March, 3 months. Quarter 2 means April, May and June. Third quarter is July, August, September. Fourth is October, November and December. So it continues, it's 4 times quarterly. So monthly is 12 times and you have to file after each month and you have to pay after each month. So if it's a monthly filer, then you have to file your January return, GST HST return in February and pay by February, and it continues in the same way. So what if you don't pay? What if you don't pay your taxes on time? What if you forget to pay? What if you forget to file? What happens? So if you forget to file as well as pay, then obviously CRA is behind you chasing for your money, and they will charge you for the late filing penalties. They will compound the interest until and unless it's paid. And there is also reputational or legal risk, that's especially for the business. So obviously, in order to avoid this, we have to file on time and we have to make the payment to CRA on time. This is it for today. This is all for today. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section. If you want us to make videos on any topic that you want, please let us know in the comment section as well. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, subscribe and share our YouTube channel and follow us for more.